get a prompt on your screen, but that's okay. You can end that. I think recording has started. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm just going to try and share the slide that was the first slide that we had was on introduction to uh, Sanatan Dharma. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, let me try again. Share screen, desktop window, and then it goes to Chrome tab, introduction to Sanatan Dharma. There you go. Okay. So just going back to the very basic, just very quickly recap on our first class. Some
Yeah,
of us joined
we can
after
see your
that.
screen now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Some of us did not joined us later, so it will be great to just recap as well. I may not be able to cover everything, but I'll try my best. So the first thing we discussed in our first class was, Haribai went through some of the basic concepts. What is like in key concepts of Sanatan Dharma, right? And uh, what we covered is like questions, or what questions does Sanatan Dharma help us to answer, right? So the questions that arise in our mind: who am I? What is the purpose of life? What is God? What is this universe? Is there a way to get permanent satisfaction? And is it even possible? Right? So that's kind of the questions we seek, and we try to answer them through Sanatan Dharma. Now, how do we approach it? Approach Sanatan Dharmas. It's actually four parts, or four Purushastras, right? And they are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, right? But I think in the order, Haribhai wanted to slightly change it, and we said we placed Artha as the base one. Artha is the first Purushastra. After that, we've got Kama, then we have Dharma, and finally Moksha. So, in terms of, if anybody remembers, do you remember these four, and the differences, or slightly what they meant?
Not exactly, Pradeep. Sorry, I missed the first session. So
No, that's fine.
I,
So,
I know moksha. Definitely, I know moksha.
yeah,
I know dharma as well. But
yeah,
still, it's better to go for a bit more definition. But
right.
I'm not sure about the kama and artha, especially artha, because I'm not even sure what is meaning of that.
Yeah.
And kama as well. I may be thinking something, but maybe wrong. So please go ahead.
Okay, so so the four parts that we have here, Artha is like the base, right? So if we are in this slide, I mean, this is my interpretation, understanding from what I can't really really exactly what how Haribai explained, but Artha is like, your what you are doing in your current life, or your basic necessities, right? Like, eating food, having a life, doing your job. That's what, the basic necessity to basic parts of life. That is your artha, or the artha, as literally means, is earth, right? What is the meaning of your sustenance, or living, or doing, right? And that is what artha. The next level which we have is kama. Kama is more like pleasure, right? So once you have your basic necessities, like you have a job, you have food on the table, you are living, you have a house or things, then the kama is like, okay, having a bit of desire in terms of, I want a bigger house. Okay, I want like a 4 by 3 size television, or I want a 4 by 4 car instead of a normal small scooter, right? So that is, everybody has a desire, or of doing, or attaining betterment in life, right? Having pleasures in life. Okay, so that is the kama part. Then you've got the dharma. Dharma is literally, as we have seen in, or the definition is the righteousness, right? Going by the principle, right? Going what is right, or following the path of righteousness, virtueness. Okay, that is dharma. And then finally you have got moksha. Moksha is when you want to attainment, or satisfaction, or fulfillment, and you get liberation, right? Liberation out of it. I mean, that's how I explain. But Anybody wants to add or to any of this? Your thoughts? What did you have in mind in terms of moksha, Shez?
Actually, that is correct. Liberation is a correct word to use it. And one more as well. We say that we always reach the feet of the God. That's called moksha. That is one of the word which spans across India from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. That's the only word I would say that everyone. It doesn't matter which culture, which religion, or which language. That's the word which will that's a very unique to Indian subcontinent. So that's one of the word which that's why you are 100% correct. I agree with you.
Moksha is liberation from birth and death and rebirth. That's cycle, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that to understand it?
Yeah, that's also a way of the ultimate. So the concepts, that's right, Nilesh. I mean, the concepts that we went through, because we went in each of these sessions were quite detailed. And Shez, you are right as well. So the concepts we went through was um, Brahman and Parabrahm, right? So the Parabrahm is there's everything. I mean, there is one single power, right, or um, one single source, right? And that is the Parabrahm, right? Parabrahm we call it. And then Brahman is in everything, in every living or non-living thing, there is an essence of something, and that keeps driving it, right? And that is the Brahman in it, right? So when the Brahman and the Parabrahm merge, right, they become one, and that is kind of attaining moksha. Or to your point, Nilesh, in other words, is also the coming out of this cycle of rebirth and your karma again, rebirth again also, and then ultimately merging with the Parabrahm. Parabrahm is that one single power of the universe that drives everything, right? to describe it in that way. I mean, that's my simple way of description, but I'm sure Haribai explained us much more on that. But I don't know if anybody of you wants to, Sandeep, you want to add your views on Brahman and Parabrahm?
I think it's energy. Every soul as an energy, what we have is going to mix in the final bigger energy, which we call God or final ultimate energy, source of energy. So in my eyes, everyone has to meet that energy one day, where I think every energy came from, right? And basically, we are created from that energy. Every single energy has created from that energy, and they have to meet that energy again in one form or other form, one day or other day, this life or other life. And as Nilesh said, ending the cycle. So possibly that ending the cycle, but the way science works, or Sanatan Dharma, which is based on science as well and explained by Haribhai or every other people, in my eyes, that you have to come to that moksha level. You have to put your energy in such a form where it go towards those final destinations. So earth, karma, all that has to be fulfilled such a way, or clean out such a way, where our energy becomes that I think ready for the mixing up with the final energy. So we are making a lot of mistakes, learn from those things, and create our own positive or negative energy within us. And that is, as per last discussion from Haribai, that our Atma is not transferring. Like Atma is not transferring from our body to another body, but the energy what we have created, or what soul we call, that is going from one to other journey. And that is, in my eyes, is energy. So whatever we are creating today in this life, some of the basic stuff we will carry on to next journey. May not be the memories, but yes, some of the, I think, right or wrongs in our energy, we will take it forward to the next journey. And I think till we reach somewhere where we are ready to to meet final destination of source. This is my understanding. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's great. Any questions, or we move on the next one? Okay, so then I think what we covered in our first session was also, the approach. There's no right or wrong, but I think the approach, just at least it helped me personally, was the structure of the Vedanta, right? Vedas are also called as Vedanta, and the structure, how they are structured, and just for our understanding, it is important to understand that. And what is Vedanta? Vedanta is the study to explore, understand, and practice the proper means to fulfill the desire to be complete or perfect. Okay, that is the definition. Or in the desire of perfection, the knowledge that we seek to become ultimately, perfect, or basically when you become perfect is your energy, soul energy is merging with the ultimate parabrahm, universal energy, right? So the way we have approached here is, we have got the Vedas, which are the four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. And each of those Vedas have got specific details, but Rig Veda, being the primary one, has got like majority of the content in that. Then we have got the mantra samhitas and the brahmanams. Okay, so the mantra samhitas and the brahmanams together are called the karma kanda. They are the karma kandas. And then we have got aranyakas, which is the upasana kanda. And then we have got the Upanishads, which is Janakanda, or Vedanta also is called as, right? So together, all of these books and forms are called as Vedanta. Again, if we go into the Shastram, so there's another approach to look at this, where we have got, we've got the Bhagavad Gita, and we have got the Shastrams. And within Shastrams, they are layered as Vedas, Sutras, Smritis, Puranas, Itihasas, and Bhashyam, right? Vedas are the four Vedas we talked about: the Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Athar Veda. Sutras are written. These were like written by Ved Vyasa. Like we've got the Brahma Sutra. Then we've got the Smritis, which are manuscripts. Like, I don't know if people must have heard about the Manusmriti, which was the famous one written. It is formed of a lot of shlokas usually, and it has multiple versions as well. Now, then we also have the Puranas, which are stories of the Vedic period, and each of the story has a meaning. So they are passed on. Knowledge is passed on in the form of stories. And we have then got Itihasas. So Itihasas is literally history, which is the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, which are the two main Itihasas. And then we've got the Bhashyam. So Bhashyams are it's a layered approach of passing on knowledge. Now, this is at a very high level of my knowledge. Obviously, this can be got into much more detail, but this is for our understanding that how Vedanta is broken into various parts, and how each part has a importance. So a very high. At the moment, our focus, before we get into next slide, the focus we have started on is with the Tattva Bodha. Okay, so Tattva Bodha is literally an introductory text outlining the fundamentals of Vedanta. So it's like the knowledge of the reality, the individual, and the world, and the relationship between them. So me and this universe, and what is the relationship, and the qualification of a student. So as a student, when I want to study the Vedanta, or when I seek to desire knowledge, what are the principles I should follow, right? Or I should what is the so that is what we covered in the second or third chapters as well, the qualifications of a student as part of the Tattva Bodha. I'll switch on to now the second and third week slides, so we can go through the start on the Tattva Bodha. Okay, let me stop sharing and share again. Okay. Okay, so before we now go into the fourfold qualifications of sadhaka or a student, there's a few key concepts that we just need to recap. So one was the uh, one was about the Guru Shishya Parampara. Okay, so that is a very core part of Vedanta. So knowledge was always in historically and has always been passed through a guru to a shishya. And where did this raises our topic, right? Where did the Vedas come from, or where did Vedantas come from? So actually, it is directly from the gods. That's what is like said, that this knowledge was directly transferred from uh, the gods, and that is when people or our sages did penance, and they did a lot of puja and bhakti and devotion. They attained enlightenment, or they attained the knowledge, and that knowledge was directly transferred from the gods. So it is written now, or it was written at certain point by Ved Vyasa and other people in terms of the various scripts we have. But it is directly, we believe that it is directly from the gods. And the knowledge is where this is kind of broken into, if we talk about the Guru Shishya Parampara, it's equally important for the Shishya, or the, like we are learning at the moment, to have that belief in the Guru. Okay, so over the period of the years or centuries or thousands of years, the Guru had always passed on this knowledge verbally, and we used to have Gurukuls. We had the Gurukul Parampara, and that somehow at the moment is very few gurukuls left. But that was a traditional way of passing on knowledge, and then at certain point they wrote it down as well. And then those became the books that we see, right? So it is equally important as a sadhaka or as a student for us to have that belief in the guru, and have the belief that we will attain the truth, or come with an open mind and embrace the knowledge with an open mind, and have that belief in the guru, who is very important for us to take us to the our journey, or take us to our goal, or take us to our moksha, or ultimate goal of attaining the knowledge, right? So that Guru Shishya Parampara is very important, and there were many examples we cited in our previous classes as well, like Dronacharya and Arjun, and the devotion of a student as well. Now, if we talk about the what are the qualifications of a sadhaka, so there are fourfold qualifications. Uh, the Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka, which is the Brahman and the Maya, the concept of the Brahman and the Maya. Uh, I don't know. What does anybody want to, like? If you were in any of the class, want to say something on this one? This was the concept we went through with Hari Bhai. Remember the
Sandeep Bhai, now.
Okay.
I'm driving right now, so I don't have slides in front of me. Otherwise, I could have little bit more active.
No, that's okay. So I'll make a start. Maybe Sandeep you can add. So the Brahman is what we just already covered slightly, was is the energy, or the the consciousness within every individual, and this is living and non-living as well, right? and that drives it, or that keeps it, right? And what is Maya? Maya is everything else, right? Everything else is Maya. What we see around us, the world, they say ye sab moh maya hai. That is, everything else around us is the eternal truth, is only the energy, or that Brahman, right? And what this also, the other aspect we related to this was that nothing is permanent. Okay, so the energy is, one form of energy is changing into another form of energy, but nothing is permanent. So even if we took an example of for example, a cup on my table, that's a cup on my table, but it is not permanent. At some point, this cup will cease to exist, right? It will break, or it will become something else and transform into something else. And at some point, whatever it transforms into will again change or become something else, right? So it is just a transition of one form to another, but that nothing is permanent around us. The only thing permanent is Brahman, or the consciousness, or the power, or the soul. That is the energy. That is the only permanent thing, because that just moves from one form to another form. But the everything else is more Maya, including everything we see around, our clothes, our shoes, our phone, our our car, our house, everything, even our body, right? Everything is Maya. I mean, that's how I kind of recollect. But happy for Sandeep. You want to add anything?
I would like to discuss on sadhaka because we all are learners all the time. So previously, right now, Nilesh, Rikin, and Chaz were talking about learning the IT. So similar thing, we all learn our life experiences, but many a time, in my eyes, we as a learner, we put our perception, and what our perception we put, sometime we never cross check, even though it's our life experience and we feel that this is the I have experience, how can be it right or how can be it wrong. So we tell our mind ourselves that this is right way to live, or this is right way to do, or this is right way of practicing things, and we are sometime not open for the opinions, suggestions, and perceptions. So, Pradeep, you shared one video time ago for that scientist as well.
Yeah.
It's about all perception. So, for example, what right now, six people on one table looking at each other, every person is looking at other person, all five other people is a different perception. Everyone is right what they are looking at, what they are experiencing, but it might be different than other person is looking at each other. So my angle towards looking at Pradeep and Rikin's sitting positions looking at Pradeep is completely different, and his experience of Pradeep at that particular time is big different than mine. So this is a, I think, practical life happening, and we many a time argue with ourselves, our own people, friends, family, colleagues, everyone, that this is the right, I have experienced it. And in my eyes, as a sadhaka, we forget one more thing is that we have to keep learning the perception as well. So it's not just about our perception, but we have to be open about someone else's perceptions, someone else's truth for same reality and same thing. So as a sadhaka, we have lot of responsibility or collective subconscious responsibility we have to create in our mind, where we keep learning rather than going into the situation where we start concluding anything or thinking that this is right or wrong. Because many a time, even I personally experienced that in that particular situation, we do not see beyond. We do not see beyond that situation. We do not see anything beyond. And sometime later, we feel, oh, you know what, that experience, what I did, or that situation I did, at that time, what I reacted was not right, or that time someone has reacted was not right. We realize and we change our perception at that particular time by learning something new. So I think main important thing in my eyes, we have to be learning all through our life as a sadhaka, but with the putting our ego and intelligence on side, because our intelligence sometimes do not allow us to learn new things as pure as that new things comes to us. Because whenever that pure thing comes to us, we start raising questions. We should raise questions, but not to judge or not to argue. We should raise question as a sadhaka to learn rather than judging that subject or situation or anything else. So, for example, right now we were learning from Haribhai. Sometime our intelligence says ki whatever Haribhai is saying may not be right because I have experienced something else. Now, if we don't consider him as a guru and if we don't consider his truth as a first hand information and we start doubting, then it means our intelligence is not allowing to grasp everything within. Normally, as a sadhaka, you first take everything within. This is my perception, this is my idea, this is my opinion. I can be wrong. So you guys add on once I finish. But as a sadhaka, once we grab everything within, we have to first dilute inside, understand, and then raise question to learn rather than judge. This is my opinion, but you guys can add something on this. I'm ending here.
Yeah, anybody would like to say something?
Sandeep bhai, that's really very good. So basically, just to summarize, you want us to keep an open mind when we are learning this topic. Number one. Now, number two is uh, even though our intelligence doesn't allow us to accept some ideas or some concepts, it is better to go ahead or with the acharya. I mean, with the guru. Is that correct, Sandeep bhai?
Yes, because what I felt is sometime even if you have experience in your life that we are elder than our children, but sometime our children teach us very basic rule of principle of life unknowingly, and we say, "Oh my God, this I have learned from my child."
Yeah.
So that particular moment, our intelligence even go out of the window because this many years we never learn what our child is teaching us unknowingly or emotionally, like or something without having a full knowledge very naturally. So we sometimes say that child has a like every child has a god within, right? Why we say
Yeah.
that? Because they are not judging. Their intelligence is always there as a human being, but we like as a child we never argue on something. So we experience and take in, and we learn ourselves
Yeah.
with purity. And problem in my eyes, when we get experience or years of experience, our intelligence make monkey out of us. It's like driving nuts. We start judging people and situation rather than learning and then evaluating. So
Yeah, I
this is
think.
my perception.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I agree with that, Sandeep. I think if I think about how we over the years we learn from at school, we learn at work, we learn from our parents, we learn from our friends, we learn from our own experiences. We build biases, right? We become biased on certain things, and based on however our journey has been. And what it does sometimes, not always, I mean, and some are better at it, some are not. Everybody is different, individual is different, everybody has their own journey. But what it does, at least sometimes I've seen that I have been biased to certain opinions, or I have been overconfident sometimes, which has sometimes surprised me. Sometimes my ego has come in the way. Oh, I know this, but actually I didn't know it, right, until I knew what it is. And having said that, it's not about just to recap, it's not that we should not ask questions, right? If we don't understand, we should ask questions. We should ask till we get satisfied answers, right? Because otherwise we will never attain the knowledge. So it's not about there is a subtle difference between having that quest for learning and asking questions. We need to do that, and that's what Vedanta says as well, right? You need to pursue knowledge, but not at the cost of sometimes being so egoistic that uh, sidelining or which blinds us, right? Which blinds us from embracing or accepting or seeing things that otherwise we would have. Like a child sees everything unbiased or openly. I think the student should also get into that habit, while he should still keep on asking till he gets the answer. That's not a problem, right? You can still ask that. So that's just one way of interpreting. I'm sure there's multiple ways of interpreting this.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
Mhm.
Uh,
No worries.
just going back to the concepts again, I understand a bit more than in Maya, but I'm still a bit unclear on the Brahman side. So is it okay to just go for a
Yeah,
one
yeah,
minute?
yeah.
So sorry about that. Just in case. No, I would like to know a bit more about Brahman now. I understand what about based on your explanation, Paddy.
Yeah, sure. Would Rikin Bhai or Nilesh, you want to say anything about Brahman from your understandings? No? Okay. So, I just wanted to give everybody the opportunity if they want to say anything. So, Shez, look, the way I have understood it is Brahman, there is something inside everyone. Okay. So, whatever is changing in this world is called as Maya. Okay, whatever is
Yeah,
transforming from one thing to another is Maya. Okay, and everything is changing. Nothing is permanent. Okay, permanent in the time, if something is a building is standing for 100 years, we may think it's a permanent structure in our definition, but actually it's not. It's also a transition. It's going through a transition from soil into bricks, into at some point it's made into a building. After 100 150 years it falls down, mixes into the soil again. That's again a cycle, right? Whether it's living or non-living, uh, even in living, but there is an energy that is being transformed from one form to another, right? And that the force that is driving it, or the energy behind it, right? That is what is the Brahman. Okay, now Brahman is in everything and everybody. Okay, it's not just living things, but it is even in non-living things, right? And that Brahman is the ultimate energy, which is into all of these, which is going through these transformations, right? Going changing from one form to another form, it is transforming. And ultimate, the whole universe is, or the whole concept of everything, there is a super ultimate energy source, which is the Parabrahm, right? We touched upon it
yeah,
at the beginning of the class, which is, or in other words, we call them God. We call them the ultimate Shakti, right? Or that is the Parabrahm, right? So it is about all of, and this is a process. This is a process again. That form of energy, for example, the energy that is driving inside me, what happens after death, right? It's a big question. I think we discussed in one of our previous classes as well, how that energy transforms or leaves the body. What happens? Does it get immediate rebirth? Does it take a while before it gets a rebirth, or does not get a rebirth? When does it stop getting a rebirth? When does that soul actually merge with the Parabrahm, or the ultimate energy, right? That's what we call Parabrahm, or there's one energy source. And even that, if you look at this is getting a bit deeper, but even that is a cycle. That Parabrahm is also manifesting itself. If you look, the Parabrahm, or the main energy source, is manifesting itself in the form of these Brahmans, or the energy in each individual living and non-living thing in this universe, or universes, right? Maybe we have got it's not just one universe. It's like Brahmand, and there are so many lokas and Brahmandas, right? So we are talking about the manifestation of that energy into these Brahmans is going through this journey in various shapes and forms all the time. And it's all the time, uh, what is attaining salvation, or liberation, or the ultimate truth, is merging back into the Parabrahm, right? This is again my language or my interpretation, but that gives us a little bit of idea of how this energy transformation is happening all the time, and no state of that energy is permanent. Only the permanent thing is the transformation of that energy from one form. That energy never changes, or that soul, or the Brahman, that's what is called as the Brahman. Yeah.
okay,
But
okay.
yeah, it's a bit
Thank,
difficult to explain, but I think as we go in more and read more of it, discuss more of it, you get a better idea of it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Thanks, buddy.
no worries.
Sorry, Pradeepji, I'd like to just, I've made some couple of notes, and
Sure.
one of my notes on Brahman, I wrote it down.
Mhm.
And thanks for this, like, you have made it a bit more clear, but I'm sure, like, when Hariji comes back, and it will be more and more clearer. But I think what I wrote down just as one line, that Brahma is the only true reality.
Correct.
So yeah, but and I think now I understand a bit more and more. At that point of time, I wrote this down as a note on my notepad, but I think it's now becoming more and more clear. Actually, yeah.
I think that is the very correct definition, I guess, as Haribhai mentioned, right? It is the ultimate reality, is the Brahman.
Correct. Yeah.
Everything else is Maya, right? So when you
Yeah.
talk about Brahman, you are forced to talk about Maya, because Brahman itself, Brahman is the real truth, or as you say, Rikin Bhai, is the ultimate truth. Then everything else is false, right? So
True.
if the energy inside us or inside any living or non-living being is the ultimate truth, then everything else, the shape, the form, everything else is Maya, right? Everything else is immaterial, or uh, not the real truth. The real truth is actually the energy, and that's actually the definition. You just perfectly summarized that, Rikin Bhai. So
Thank you.
that is what Brahman. Yeah. Okay.
In
So
my eyes,
yeah.
if we want to, this is my opinion again. In my eyes, we want to learn about our own energy, which is we consider as our own soul. Then this Maya starts with, for example, in my eyes, with our body, with our name, with our ego, with our identity. So that is not soul. That is what not actually what we are. Our energy is not Sandeep Patel. Our energy is not what my body is, what my feeling and pain is. My energy is beyond that. So if we want to carry that energy as a positive and clean energy, then we have to add a lot of good things into it, uh, without even going into like prejudicing our own body as well. So not becoming greedy about our own body, not becoming greedy about our own self, or whatever we consider is me. So when you start disassociating that energy or soul,
I think we've lost you, Sandeep.
Yeah, I think
Lost
he's
his connection.
is.
Sandeep,
so
you're
I
breaking.
may just cut off. But that is what I
Yeah.
feel, that if we want to get to the ultimate energy, we have to detach everything what we consider as me, as a Maya. So Maya starts from us. Then we extend it to our family, our liking, disliking, greed, everything. But I think if we want to learn our soul and energy, then we have to start detaching first ourselves from that soul and energy, and consider that as us, rather than body or anything else. That's my perception.
No, I agree. I think one example that we discussed in previous classes was the gold, right? Example of the gold and the ornaments, right? So if you think about the the Brahman and the Maya, right, or the permanent versus non-permanent, gold is the tattva or the base, right? Whereas converting into whether it's a ring or a necklace or anything out of gold, right? A jewelry, the form it takes, or a kada, right, is actually the manifestation of it, right, or the form of it, right? So that's the transformation happening all the time. But actually, what is not changing is the underlying gold. The gold remains the base, right? So that is what is Brahman, right? The gold is Brahman here, and all the formations or the different forms is all Maya. So the form of a shape, it going in, becoming a bracelet or becoming a necklace or something else, that's all transformations. Whereas the base gold remains. So it's the same Brahman taking various shapes and forms, but ultimate truth remains the Brahman, not the form that it takes, right? So that's one example we discussed as part of the classes. So I think
But
from
the
the
Pradeep
yeah.
challenge is
Hmm.
Pradeep.
Yeah.
Pradeep, main challenge is it's a good example that gold is becoming ornaments. It's a good example, right? But the
Yeah.
considering we are ourselves gold now becoming ornament, how we identify that what we become. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. My question is, it's a good example that gold become ornament,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Now that is as us, the our soul become what we are right now in this birth as an ornament. But
Right.
we ourselves, how we identified what ornament we become and what is the reality of our own gold. How that identification happens. That is, someone else can identify that, but how we identify our own soul or our own form of this life.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's a good question. I think Sandeep, there is no. I mean, my viewpoint. I'm saying here. I don't know whether this relates to what we've learned or not. There is no right or wrong, right? Every soul has a journey. Okay. Now, in this case, the gold, again, you can go into detail, but gold being the Brahman, right, is taking different forms and shapes, and the form that is taking is not material. What is material? Really, the real truth is the underlying gold. In this case, our soul is the real truth. Now the soul, now we are talking about, is the soul good or is the soul bad, or is the soul pure or is the soul impure, right? Because when you are saying ki how do I know that, whether what shape or form I am taking is, only other people can tell when they are looking at me, right? Or how
No, no,
good.
no, 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 no. My point is
Mm-hmm.
the example of gold, which is our soul,
Yeah.
that become a ring, which is a gold ring.
Yeah.
So, for example, that become a Sandeep in this
Okay.
life.
Right.
For me to understand which ornament I have become and what is beauty of that ornament and what is the my originality,
Yeah.
which is my gold is my originality, or that is my
Correct.
energy, or that is my
Correct.
parbram.
Correct.
To understand that is my journey.
Correct. Absolutely right. So the form, so you have taken the form of a gold ring, right? And the gold ring is Sandeep now. Gold ring is trying to understand what am I made of? What is the real truth? What is gold? Right? Gold ring is saying what is gold? What am I made of? And that's exactly what we are trying to do here. We are trying to understand what is our soul, what is the real truth, and what is the Brahman, right? So the shape, again, the shape of the form, Sandeep or Pradeep, we this body, or the shape we have taken, or the the place we are living, the geography, the planet on earth, or in the Brahmanda, why we are here and what is happening is all a journey, right? And we are now trying to understand what is the energy inside me, inside you, for example, and what is the real truth, and that soul or that energy or the consciousness is the real truth, right? So that is not going to change irrespective of what journey it takes, right? So it's still, the example still relates to this Brahman and Maya concept, right? I don't know if
Uh,
I was
Pradeep,
able.
What are the
Pradeep,
opinions of others?
Yeah, yeah,
Pradeep, I would like to say my opinion here.
yeah.
Actually, the question was how we realize
Hmm.
the gold inside us rather than the ornamental nature of material body.
Right.
So basically, I mean, whatever I read and understood so far, that to realize the real nature of the your soul, you have to do a meditation, and that then only you realize the difference between the Maya and the reality.
Agreed.
So I mean, for people like us, which we are busy in our normal life, we cannot have that because the Maya envelops everything around us, and we cannot see the reality.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
those yogis who do tapasya and the sadhus and the monks, basically, they have that realization, and only they can feel it. They cannot explain to you, they cannot put it in a mathematically or show you something like this is like this. You have to experience it by doing the deep meditation.
Agreed. 100%. I agree with what you're saying, Sachin. Only thing I'll add to that, my view again, is the fact that we are here, the fact that we have started our journey, the fact that you're trying to learn, the fact that you're asking the questions, your path to meditation is already started. So your self discovery or your discovery of the truth, right, or what is starting, the moment you start to think about this and the direction, you, I think you have, this is my view again, your journey has started, right? So it is not, uh, everybody has a journey. That state, when we will achieve the state, when we will achieve the state of full, meditation and tapas to get the real truth, it's different for each one of us, right? And it is, I think there are more than one ways of achieving the real truth. So it's, meditation is certainly one of the ways, right? There are various other ways, or tapas, various forms of tapas, as I think Haribai alluded to it in the first or second class. Like bhakti is one way, right? Bhakti is one way. Chanting and meditation or om is another way. Learning or knowledge, even doing something so religiously that you believe that is the ultimate truth, is also one of the form of bhaktis, right? So I think there's no one way of achieving the final truth. There are multiple ways, and I think everybody of us is on our own journey. And I agree. I mean, ultimately, when you do meditation and uh, you do the tapas like the rishis do, then I think you are much closer, and that is the way to experience it. It's more a experience than said or read or told, right? So
Yeah, actually, there is also one more thing example I will give, just for common people. I mean, all around people like us. Basically, if you see the movie Matrix, for example, in that movie, they don't know that this is the Maya around us, which is actually a matrix, and someone has to realize them that this is not the real thing, but the reality is something different. So until and that realization comes through tapasya, renunciation, and basically a lot of sacrifices. So it is not as easy. If the truth is so easy to achieve, then everyone will be knowing the truth. The truth has to be obtained by hard work.
agreed. Yeah, that's true.
My question is, are we ready for that?
Yeah.
Sandeep bhai, I think, in my opinion, we are still kind of knowledge seekers. I'm not sure about, at least I don't know sure about other people. I'm still in the knowledge seeker. That is the bottom of the the whole pile, and I'm trying to understand what it is. So only if we understand, then we can try to do something on top of it. So that's again, we don't know. At least I don't know.
Yeah, so I'll just try to relate to what we discussed in the previous class. Is there is no right or wrong time for it, okay? And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we have to give up our daily life and go on a, maybe on a mountain and do tapas or meditation, and no, that is not what it is meant by. But, and there is no, I mean, that is one option as well, but that is not what the Vedanta or the meaning is literally in terms of. So there is, as part of the, the four qualities of the sadhaka, the one is also part of your is the the as part of the sadhana. Vairagya is one topic we discussed as well, and vairagya doesn't literally mean that you give up everything and you take sannyas, right? Because sannyas ashram is the last ashram. You go through the four phases, right? And then you get into sannyas ashram, where you try to uh, you know re- end your bonds with the society and go and take um, get into meditation and in inner study of yourself. But vairagya also meant like it is the path to attaining the truth, but in a way where in your life, right, in your life, if you are doing certain things in the way it needs to be done, that is also in terms of you are restricting yourself from not doing what is not supposed to be, is a form of vairagya. So I don't know if Sandeep, you can explain better how Haribai had put the word vairagya.
Rather than Vairagya, I want to add one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if we see Krishna's life, it's a
Yeah.
perfect story or example of how any should live their life. So, for example, Krishna was attached to everything, but still he was detached to every single thing, including his own body. Right? So, if you see Krishna's life starting from birth till end, everyone came in his life he was attached to, but when he detached himself to that person, his mom, dad, friends, family, whoever it is, he's not returned to that person or place back again, and he never worried about those things. So he detached himself such a way where it's never existed in his life. Still, he was keeping everything within. And same way, when he has, there are example of him doing wrong because of the act of body, he has taken the punishment back. So, for example, one great thing is the death. So he has played a politics to get killed Abhimanyu,
Yeah.
right? He knew that Abhimanyu was going to kill next day, and Kunti supposed to tie a Rakhi to Abhimanyu in that story, and Krishna knew in his heart that Kunti has such a sat purity that if he with his like her blessings, if she ties a Rakhi to Abhimanyu, her grandson, if she tie a Rakhi, no one will kill him, and that was decided. It's new. So what he did in the night when he went away and take a small avatar of a rat and cut that rakhi which is being tied on Abhimanyu's hand, and next day he took Arjun away from the battlefield to somewhere else, right, where Abhimanyu got killed. Now when this happened, he has taken that on his punishment, and he gave Abhimanyu a second chance to kill himself. So in a rebirth of Abhimanyu, he became a Pardi and came back, and he killed him with arrow while he was sitting in the jungle. So he is also taking that punishment back to the body, the act of his doing. So I think in my eyes, great example, Krishna's story, if you minutely look, he never got attached to even anyone. Even though he has a love story with Radha, he never went back to the Gokul. When he left at age of 13 or so, he left all the friends, he left all the like mother, father, all every single person or every single thing. He never went back.
Yeah.
So those are the he left in his life as an example for being in society, how you even live Vairagya life, or how you been so neutral, where equal punishment comes to yourself, then you take that as a third person. Like if you are treating like you are punishing someone else, you punish yourself as well, and you are ready for that punishment in equal manner. So I think that is, in my eyes, is a great example. And Vairagya, I think Vairagya is also similar kind of thing, detaching yourself to any more Maya. So you do not have to run away from your act. You do not have to run away from your responsibilities, but you detach yourself from
So
from that
yeah.
everything. That's I think
So, Sandeep
ways
bhai,
of Vairagya
apart
as well.
from Sandeep bhai, apart from detachment is also one of the thing of attaining the vairagya in the
Correct.
real, the daily life.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I think forsaking the ego is also another aspect of vairagya. So detachment
So
from the
Sachin,
actions,
Sachin,
detachment from the result
Sachin,
of the action.
Sachin, connecting to that, when ego comes, if you realize, when ego comes, when
That
our
is
intelligence and our self is talking about anything, then we ego creates, right? But if you detach even from your body, there is no ego, because you have to consider your pure form of energy rather than you consider your body as you.
yeah.
Then only you detach from everything.
Yeah, I think,
I
yeah, that
think
is also, so
just to add,
basically detachment is the primary thing, and
correct,
that
correct, correct.
ego is basically comes from attachment.
So that is Sachin. That is what I was trying. That's why I was connecting to Vairagya, because while it is important, as you said, right, to have the tapas, whatever form it takes, meditation or other form, to attain the real truth, right? You need to do the tapas or the meditation to attain it. But if you have the mindset of the vairagya, which is an important qualification for the sadhaka or the student, right? The mindset is detaching yourself, right? The word which is about when you are in your day to day. Vairagya doesn't mean literally like throwing everything away and then going completely cutting off your connections with everyone. But what it means is whatever you need to do for your livelihood, right? You need to, let's say I am a computer engineer. If I am doing computers, right, and if I am giving my 100% into it, right, and I believe in it, and without anything expectations of anything in return, right, I'm not expecting apart, but I'm doing it for my livelihood, but I'm doing my best for it, right? That is also taking me closer toward the path of truth. So performing your duties or performing anything without expecting things in return, or without having that attachment to anything, right? Being detached, right? Or equally, in other examples similarly that Sandeep mentioned, where if you have given pain to somebody, you you give it to yourself, so you balance it out, or you have the guts to give it to yourself, so you're not you are actually detached from the emotion of whether the pain is it to somebody else or to me. It is the same pain. It's ultimately a pain, right? So
Pradeep, there is no me. There is no me,
I
because that
mean,
pain is Krishna teaches that pain is towards body, and body
correct,
is not
correct,
you.
correct, correct.
So there is like detachment of every single thing. So for me, as my soul, Sandeep as a name, as a body, and Pradeep as a name of that other body is a one thing. So
Correct,
it,
correct,
it can't
correct,
be a different thing for my soul.
correct, correct. Agreed. So that is what I was trying to say, is if we are talking about attaining the truth, right? As long as you are doing everything with, or trying to become as detached in your livelihood, right? Those expectations, those desires, cutting off those desires of having, and have, that is taking you closer to the path to truth, right? Okay, it may not be sound as meditation as a yogi would go and do tapas, but it is changing your mindset towards that. It is changing yourself
But
towards. Yeah.
Pradeep, there is also one more thing which actually find little bit of problem practically, detachment from the result. Basically, that's what Krishna says in the Gita, that you should detach from the result, and you should do your duty, and
कर्म कर्म
don't be
करो,
affected by the
फल की
outcome.
चिंता मत करो.
But the
Yes.
problem is many times we do our work with the motivation to achieve something. So that means there is an attachment to the result, and that motivates us to do work. So if motivation is gone, then how you will work? Because without motivation is like an energy source to do you more,
Uh,
to for you to work
so
hard.
you work for that moment. In my eyes, you work for that moment what you are enjoying. You work for that living for that moment what you are enjoying. So you are not expecting what will be the future or what will be the result, but you are motivating yourself to do base, because I want to leave this moment as a base. So So if I am enjoying that particular moment every single second and every single moment, you will be motivated. So
So
you love
basically,
what
you
you are
enjoy
doing.
you
Do
enjoy
not
the
connect.
journey.
No, you
So
enjoy the
basically, Sandeep
moment.
bhai,
Even journey
yeah.
is a time scale. So you enjoy the
So
moment
basically, you enjoy the
because
journey and don't get affected by the
I am
end
talking to
attachment.
you. Right now I am talking to you. I'm enjoying that moment. The moment, next moment, may be a different thing. So I cannot take even Haribhai mentioned one thing that whenever you are doing something at particular moment and that particular moment you are thinking of something else that is injustice to that moment. So when you are talking right now and still you are in behind the stuff, your mind is somewhere else. It means you are not living this moment. Your mind is living something else.
And that's exactly
So
that.
you
I
live the
mean,
moment at that particular time what you are doing.
you are so focused and so, like, you're doing your karma, or you're focused on whatever you're trying to achieve, that your mind is focused and you're not diverting, and you don't have any expectations or desires or outcomes, or that is light of, is your path to your truth, right? I know what you mean, Sachin, in practical life, your motivation part, right? If you don't get
Yeah,
the
practically, how to then set a goal with, if you don't have attachment to the goal, then how you can set a right goal. For example, if I say that this goal is basically I'm just trying to attain some kind of Maya goal, materialistic goal, then that is kind of a attachment only, right? So I don't have a spiritual goal, but I have materialistic goal. But then that becomes again attachment to the Maya, the material world only, right?
So, Sachin, I don't have an answer for this, but I will try to give you another example, or to explain this is, let's say if I have, I like, stock trading, for example, right? I like, I do a lot of research, I do investments, I do this, I buy, sell. I really enjoy, it's fun for me, right? And then to do my livelihood, I also have a day job and I do my project management in some company and I get a salary at the end of the month, right? So, but I also do this and I also do that. I do my trading and investments and I also do this. Ultimately, if I am not giving my 100% in my day job, right, and I'm taking time off that to do something else, or I'm not somewhere, I'm not being like 100% in that, right? And with an expectation, obviously I have an expectation at the end of the month I will get a salary. Yeah, I will get a salary, and that is why I'm doing my livelihood, and which is fine in Vairagya. That is what they say, that you don't need to give, as long as you do what you need to do for your livelihood, you need to pursue that. But I'm not being 100% fair. To Sandeep's point, my dedication in that, whatever I'm doing, is not 100% because I'm doing something else, right? But if I stop that, and let's say if my interest is just trading and investing, and that, irrespective of the outcomes of that, that gives me that gives me the pleasure, or not the pleasure, the satisfaction, or keeps me happy, right? My mental state is happy when I do that religiously, and whenever I'm doing it so religiously that my mind is not diverted. I think that is right for me, right? It's like if somebody likes soccer but he also has to do a day job, but he is a very great soccer player, he should pursue soccer because that will eternally keep him happy, right? So it is, both of them will give him a sustained living. Maybe soccer will not give him, if he unless he becomes a superstar, but ultimately he will be more happy, blissful, and closer to the truth, in terms of where he gives his 100% and where he's found his path, right? So his motivation would be automatically different without expecting a result, because he loves that he breathes and lives soccer, right? That person, rather than doing a day job in, I don't know, wherever. So that's just an example.
But Sandeep, Pradeep, one more thing, that if you say we feel happy, that means we feel sad also, right? So that means happiness and sadness is a again,
uh,
it's like a Maya only, right? So
Good
when you
point,
say
good point.
happy, I'm happy, then that means I will be sad also one day.
No, so Sachin, when I meant
That is
happy,
attachment.
yeah, happy, I don't mean to say happy
When
and
you
sadness, because
bring
that is relative.
okay,
What I mean to say is accept things as they are. Okay, when you say happy state of mind, I meant accept the things as they are. So accept it, what you are doing and whatever you are achieving, or your activity or your karma. Don't worry about the result, but accept it as it is, right? That is a steady state of your mind. It is not neither happy nor sad, but it is a steady state of your mind which is leading you to
Exactly.
your
I think that is what is the
Very
goal.
true,
That to
Pradeep.
keep
Very
a
true.
steady state, neither you should be overjoyed or happiness, neither you should be sad.
correct
You should have
correct
a
correct
steady state of mind.
That's right, correct. Yeah. Sandeep,
Very
you're saying.
interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting discussion.
I know.
I just want to on this regard just a small story which I read some time ago. I forgot now how I read it. I hope it's okay. Just it takes maybe a minute or 2 minutes. What happened is one of the some time ago, four people, friends, they approached a saint and of course monk and asked them the same questions for how do I want to know this correct or right or wrong everything. So he thought, okay, I'll take will let us go for an experiment. So he will put all those four guys and himself in a pushback viman, okay, and they were just flying. And he asked them, hey, now we are going to see something on the forest. Let me know what you think. On the forest, the forest, what happened was there was a tiger which has just delivered a few cubs, and it was so hungry. It came out for the food, and there was a deer. It is just delivered few deers, and it came out for the food, and the tiger killed the mother and started eating it. So the tiger and their cubs were so happy because they got the food at last after 2-3 days, because no food for 3-4 days. So everyone is happy. Whereas those three deers become often straight away. So now this saint asked the persons, okay, please let me know what do you think of it? Is it right or wrong? And he said that only one small condition: the pushpa woman, it knows the answer. If you are wrong, you'll be pushed down to the forest. That was the answer. I mean, there was a condition. So the first guy said, uh, even though the tiger has to eat, but it is very wrong, that wrong time, because they become orphaned, the deers. So it's wrong. And just like that guy fell down. Okay, so by the three guys saw them. Second guy said, okay, and he said, no, because he know the answer, because that's the answer. He said, no, tiger is correct, because it has to eat, it has to provide the food to the cubs. So after a second, boom, even that guy fell down. So third guy asked, so now saint asked third guy, what do you think of now? And he looked both, because he know both answers are wrong. And he told, oh, it's a nature, we can't do anything about it. Just like that, he fell down as well. So the fourth guy, I said, okay, to be honest, Guruji, I don't know the answer. And they both safely landed on wherever they want to land it. So basically what the answer was, that at that point of the story is, at the as of now, we don't know. It's a bit, I mean, unless we go into deeper and do all these things, I don't know how far we can go inside. Many times we are coming to a learning part based on that Guruji's experience.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, that's a great example, Shes. Like, I mean, here we all are giving our views, right? And I may be completely wrong, whatever examples I've given on, and I may not know it until I know it, until the day arrives when I know that knowledge. So everybody, is, and exactly as you said, the I don't know is, it may be sometimes the right answer here, right? So yeah.
So very, very the
I think
philosophically.
Sandeep, I don't know is a right answer, and also when we say I don't know, it also compels us to seek the more truth, because then our journey continues. When we say I know, that means we somehow feel okay, I know everything, I don't have to do any more study.
True, very true, Sachin. Yeah. So I think we covered quite a good topics today. Some of us joined late, but I think we tried to cover our first class Vedanta, what is Vedanta, how it is structured, the Vedas, and then the Tattva Bodha, right? The Tattva Bodha is what we are currently learning. So I think in the next class we can go through I think we still have like 1st May or something when Haribhai is back. So we can have one more class in couple of weeks, middle of April. And we can go through the qualities of the sadhaka. So in detail. So, the Nitya, Anitya, Vastu Viveka, Vairagya, Shakti Sampati, and Mumukshutam, right? So those 4 things we can go a little bit more details, that when we are learning Vedanta, what, as a student, what qualities we should have. If you remember briefly, we talked about the Brahman and the Maya, the Vairagya, which we just touched upon. Then under Shakti Sampatti, we were talking about Sama, the controlling of the mind, all the parts within the Mana, the Buddhi, the Chitta, Ahankara, Mala, Vikshepa, and Ajnana, Avarana, right? So those parts we can cover in more detail in next session, but it is all about the qualities of a sadhaka, or the qualities of a student in our journey towards the knowledge of the Vedanta. I will pause there, but if anybody wants to just open or have any questions, we can do that for another few minutes, and we can then hopefully close the class. Any questions?
I'm sorry, guys. I joined quite very late, so I have to just apologize. I was just listening very last part of the discussion.
No problem,
Manish bhai, you can answer a lot of thing, because I think you have closely in your career as a doctor and psychiatrist, lot of cases you have seen where people are coming with a lot of things where you may have gone into thought process, why and what. So if you want to put some of your thoughts or experience.
Sandeep bhai, let's wait. I think it's a little bit tricky what I know and what we are discussing. I think it's not directly connected, but still connected. I see your point.
No, why I'm asking that a lot of issues of mind is created within. That's my perception, and then it might be some of the situational and chemical in our brain, definitely. But a lot of time I felt that even, for example, depression, it might be we are not able to cope up with the situation, or we are not able to cope up with a lot of stuff, and that brings those kind of stuff to us, where we are talking about our journey, eternal soul and all that. And if we really start looking into that, then maybe this kind of situation, we can treat it better, or avoid it, or completely tackle it in better way, maybe. That's why I'm asking.
I think as we progress, Sandeep, in the future classes, having Manish Bhai would be great because of his because of your experiences. Yeah.
Sorry, I think my internet dropped down, so I didn't hear all. I think for Sandeep bhai's comment. But I think what you are saying is, see, what we are saying is the mind balance and all that. I think it's a. So we are trying to learn. I think quite advanced things, isn't it, in terms of what we are doing day to day. But then connecting it with our the ultimate goal, which is more kind of spiritual discussion. So that takes a little bit away from what I do. But I think there is some connection. There is some, I think, some inputs I can suggest in terms of the your journey and the motivation. What Sachin was saying, I think,
Yeah.
It's a good point. I think, if you have no goal, I mean, if you just don't see, like, you don't need to aim, or you don't need to wish for the fruit. Then what drives you then? What is it that you are looking for? Which is is a valid questions, and that's, I think, one needs to ask self, why you are doing this. So,
Yeah.
so that's the beginning. Why do you want to achieve that? That should answer, why you are motivated, and quite keen, and why you have this plan, and all the energies behind the any kind of goal or aim, anything. I mean, materialistic or not. But that's my take on. Like, it should be, the answer is all within yourself.
That's a very good point, Mahesh bhai, and thanks. We'll look forward to your inputs in future classes. But I think the point you just mentioned, right? The answer is in yourself, right? That is also something we touched upon in previous classes, that science and Vedanta, right? They are they're two sides of the same coin, right? The eternal truth. Science is external, exploring external. We are discovering planets and universe and everything. And Vedanta is the same journey, but it is looking inside, looking internal. And so it is like the same ultimate goal may be the same, but Vedanta is the inside. The journey goes through inside. The answers are all within you. So yeah.
So, can I ask everyone a question? Why everyone, like individually, want to learn this? What we are trying to learn is because we want to learn about Sanatan Dharma, or what we want to learn about our internal journey, or what we like, what we want to learn about. Every single person.
I mean, I can answer. But for me, I think I did not know anything about all these Vedas and all this. Just I know only 4 names, nothing else. So I really want to know whatever Hinduism. When everyone says, we don't know Hinduism and all that, I don't know. So for me, it's about a knowledge first thing, and then maybe try to see how it connects to your day-to-day life, and what the Gitas and all the meaning behind how does it connect in our day-to-day life. So that's what are my kind of hinge, in terms of why I joined. But I might learn something new. We'll see.
I have the same as Manish Bhai. Same answer from me as well. Just I would like to know kind of more or less a kind of knowledge seeker than the rest, because I'm not even sure sometimes, because I'm sometimes a bit lazy, not sometimes, many times lazy to even start a meditation. So it's a kind of a first step towards at least try to understand, then maybe we go in that direction. So that's me.
Anybody else wants to go?
Anyone else?
I will say something here. So basically, I have been following the 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 play of mind and the consciousness. I was a bit more interested in basically why human have a higher level of consciousness than all other animals. Because if you see the evolution's perspective, you just need reproduction and food. These are the basic things addressed by all the other living beings, but humans have got higher bandwidth to think about higher things. So that means somehow that humans are designed to seek the real truth. And that's what I felt, that the truth comes from exploring it, not by just doing nothing. So, and this is, for me, this is an exploratory journey to see different opinions and then form your own based on what you hear and what you read.
Yeah.
Rikin, Nilesh.
Yeah. Hi, this is Rikin. Sandeep Bhai. I may have a question for you too as well. But I think one of the notes which I've made, and I think it very much rightly kind of like puts me on that path, that why am I in this class, and why am I studying this, and why am I interacting with all of you here? It's more or less the definition which I wrote it down of Vairagya. There's a couple of points which are missing, but one of the point I wrote it down is to achieve the spiritual progress and to discriminate between the essential and non-essential. And this can be practiced by Vedanta, and to develop my right thoughts, speech, and action. So the same question goes to you as well, Sandeep Bhai. What are your thoughts and why are you doing this
Basically,
class?
as a curious child, I always had these questions coming in my mind from childhood, and it's more about not about Vedas or religion, but it's all about interior who am I. And when Pradeep approaches talking about Vedas and all that, one thing I knew that there are a lot of stories in our Vedas and Shastras and all that, which always give lot of unknowing questions answer, and that might be giving my like answers to my eagerness, which is I'm having for a long time. So when Pradeep told that we should start Vedas and Haribhai has knowledge, so first I can tell that I have accepted Haribhai as my guru without any doubt, thinking not even one point that does he has any kind of knowledge or not, because I think I never I met once, but I never like exchange any kind of association with him. But when Pradeep told me that he has a knowledge of Vedas and all that, and I from day one I kept him as a guru, gathering some knowledge from him. I want to learn a lot of like answers from his teaching, and I want to take those answers back to my inside and uh, uh, the वो जब दही बनाते हैं उसमें से छाछ बनाते हैं उसको जो प्रोसेस करते हैं वैसे आई वांट टू प्रोसेस दैट विद इन to find a lot of eagerly based questions in my side from childhood, and I never met anyone else in this journey till now who maybe shared those things or dedicatedly give those things to us, and that's my journey. So more of the gathering knowledge, yes, but taking that knowledge back within and just trying to uh, find an answer that who am I, and that is my curiosity of joining this basically.
I think for me, Sandeep, is the same. It's like the question I why I wanted to do. There were two parts. So it started off actually from there is a very deep inner desire that we have got such a huge knowledge base and one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and such a big Sanskriti we have, which is lost in time. And why is it that I am born in India, I'm born in my city, and I'm living there, and I have near to, I may say, I mean, you not even 0.1% of knowledge of my, okay, I may know some artis and some Bhagwan and God, but why I don't have the knowledge, right? All this, the way we have been taught, without asking the question why zero is zero, right? That was a drive inside for me to learn about Vedas, right? Because, and then when I look at, there's so many interpretations and nothing wrong about it, and that is exactly what Vedanta is. There are so many different interpretations and versions uh, of the knowledge, but I think Vedic science or Vedantas is something where all the roots lie, right? At least I personally believe that. So that was the driver behind trying to access this knowledge. And if I have to access from where I am, it is near to impossible unless I join a Gurukul or I have a guru in India or I go to India and actually start learning the Vedas, right? Because unless you do that, uh, it is difficult for us to grasp the knowledge or get it in the right way, right? So that was one desire which was very inside. But the more important desire was the question of who am I and what I am doing, right? Why at certain point that evolved. Initially, I didn't have that at the younger age, but now when I reflect, okay, I've gone through all this. Why am I here? Why I'm landed in this country, and why am I doing this? And why? What is the purpose of my life, right? Or what? That thing somehow that question now started to come in last I don't know, few years time, that is more and more prominent. So both, it's a combination of both, but I have a very strong desire of, or a feeling that, I don't know much about something which I should know, where I'm bored, which is my like
Right.
core essence of.
But if I have a similar,
Yeah.
view to you, in the sense that you said that you're born in India, and you have a maybe 1% knowledge or whatever, of the Vedas and so forth, or our faith. Well, I was born here. I was born in the UK. I'm first generation born here, and it's been difficult for us. I speak Gujarati. I can't read or write it, but eventually in my life, we all make mistakes. We all have good times and mistakes and so forth, and we do learn by that. But I got to a stage where I'm saying that there's more to this, And I think the word they use is self-realization. I think that's where I'm on this journey of self-realization, because I've read, yes, I've read, Bhagavad Gita, I've read the Upanishads and so forth, but it gets very confusing for me, because some of the, so I'm sure it's confusing for everyone, but for me, I don't know what is right, what is wrong, and I do understand that people take on gurus to guide them, yeah, and so you attach yourself to a guru, or guru accepts you as a student, and so forth, and leads you to the path. So here, yes, for me, is I'm on a journey of self-realization. I have an open mind, because don't forget, whatever Vedas or other literatures and so forth, one may not totally agree with it, but I think in our faith it tells you that's okay, and so forth. But anyway, so I'm on a journey of self-realization. That's the way I look at it.
Nice. Okay. Anybody wants to add anything or any other questions before we call it?
Yeah.
I think nearly
Sorry, I just want to go back to your answer. I agree with you. One of the things, while we are in India, one of the things is that probably when we were young, probably I left when I was 24 years old, India. So probably we didn't have the time or inclination towards learning all these things, or the environment was not correct now, especially if you're in cities or towns where they are always pushing towards the career, and then starting the family, then looking out your friends and the family again. So then suddenly what happened, you attend the birthday parties, marriage one, wedding and all. That's what you're busy all the time. We didn't have the time to sit and think. Whereas by moving to abroad, suddenly we are completely out of those commitments, and we do have the time. And now suddenly, that's what happened early 30s. I'm talking about at least 14 years ago. I started thinking about this, why I'm here, what I'm doing now. When previously I used to think, oh my gosh, I want to go to Paris, I want to go to Rome, I want to go to US. But now I'm thinking, what is it there for me to go? So it's a kind of a U-turn now. Slowly it's happening. U-turn is happening. Now I want to learn more about my parents, my ancestors, what they did, what they didn't do, and why they did it as well.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of I don't know. It's a stage where we're trying to think, or trying to think inwards. It pushes us to learn. And the second part is, which you mentioned to me, is why we didn't have the knowledge or a space to learn. One of the things the Indian gurus and everything maintain, that once you started writing any of these teachings, there is always a possibility of a different interpretation. Every word, for example, we know kind of a watch or look or see. You have just English 3 words. It has got almost a similar meaning, but it's not exactly similar meaning, because we know the difference. Similar to that, once you write that concept in the word, then people can interpret whatever they prefer. So to avoid it, they always maintain this Gurukula and the Guru Shishya Parampara, they maintain it. So they pass on the knowledge of the exact thing what they meant. So that's the reason they didn't write it. But it's also good thing. The bad thing is we lost the knowledge because they didn't write it down, all these things.
But that's
So
the confusing. That's the confusing part for me. See, if the Vedas and so forth, what is written on paper was in Sanskrit, and Sanskrit has one word could have several meanings, 7, 8 meanings, 12 meanings, and that's what really. So does it get lost in translation? And I think I've
yes,
before as well.
Yeah,
perfect. That's what you are
We need
correct.
that
That's what
guidance. We need that guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, Paddy, by that is this is one of the reason we didn't have the library or something where you can go and okay, now I want to go and learn. The only way is again we had to go to some, I don't know what is it called. I don't know what is whether we have it in North India. In South India, we do have, not every place. Maybe once in 100 kilometers some area there is a small kind of a place, a Gurukula. So those who wants to become priests, they have to go and do the 3 to 4 years training on that Gurukula, and the acharya, top of the guy, he has to be present, and they take a photograph and say that yes, this person learned all these things, Vedas, everything for 4 years before he can become a practicing priest in the temple. I'm not sure about how it works in North India. This is South India, in Tamil Nadu. So, because I'm sample, at least 150 kilometers from my hometown, there's a space. There's a space where you can see with all the proper haircutting. You can see all the guys will be sitting and properly reading, all the boys.
Gurukul.
About
You're
Gurukul,
talking
yeah,
about Gurukuls. Yeah.
4 years they have to at least, because they got certification. I know people. The guy. I know one person in Wembley. He finished his BSc mathematics
So
before he became a priest. So
I
they
asked
have
this
to.
question. So, Shez, I asked this question to Hari Bhai, like, why, where I was born, there's no Gurukuls, and why it took me so long to arrive here to even start my journey, and why, and when will I actually attain this? When can I go to a Gurukul? And I can't leave everything and go and study in a Gurukul, but my desire is very high for that. So he said, it is again your journey. You have got to where you are. You have you have got taken interest. You have understood what you are taking this journey towards learning, or at least the step towards it, and this will lead you to your goal. And I can't give you the answer when that will come or what will come. That may be one way of achieving it, but you are on your journey. So he tried to put it into context that it's not always that every person will get the opportunity or the right the right way of, as the traditional way of gurukuls used to be, right? And that is exactly what we are facing at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that answer. At least we are pursuing what the knowledge, we have access to it, and we can we can carve our own journey. Yeah.
I think one of the Pradeeps for your discussion with Hari Bhai regarding the going to the Gurukul and doing this in
Yeah.
India. I think the day when Hari Bhai himself goes there, that's where our countdown will start.
he's
So
he's
he has definitely on a higher level of knowledge than us.
he has been to
So
Gurukul.
basically, we have to believe in what he says. That this is
Yeah.
the live your real life, current life.
Agreed. So, but Sachin, just to let you know, he has been in Gurukul. Then, when he was small, young, he has gone through the Gurukul, and that's how he's learned the Vedantas. So, he has been through the journey. I don't know how long he was there and how long he did it, whether he did it full time or not, but he has been to Gurukuls in India. So, yeah, but I think you're right. Maybe, maybe that is one way of looking at it. Yeah.
Sachin, leave everything.
Oh yeah, and other thing actually, one very interesting thing which I found regarding our same thing, what we are studying at the moment. Today I went to Central London, and there I found one society which has got Advaita online classes in London, Vedic classes. So I will share that link if anyone wants to
Yeah,
explore it
absolutely.
further. So this is like this is Sunday 2 hours done by the scholars on the Advaita philosophy.
Yeah. That's great. The other thing, I think one more thing, Sachin, is which at least I feel, and I'm sharing here, is I strongly feel now a desire to learn Sanskrit. Okay, because I see, unless I know, it's like one of the tools, right? Unless I know that tool, I'm getting this knowledge now translated or English or via discussions or through Guru. But if I need to take a step forward as well, right? I am not doing my step. I need to do that if I want to. At least I feel, not everybody may feel. So I think there is something we should do about that as well. If you think the same way, but at some point, I personally feel I should learn Sanskrit to a level where I can grasp the sloka, understand, or at least interpret it, and that can also, to your point, Shez and Nilesh, that it can minimize the interpretation, or it can put my lens on the interpretation, right? While we are now currently getting from Haribhai as well, which is, you know, the neutral interpretation, but it can put my lens on it as well. So something else we should explore, Sanskrit. Whether it's Sanskrit or I don't know. I mean, Shez, I'm not being. I mean, whether it's Tamil, because these scriptures are in Tamil as well, right? But I'm just saying.
Yes,
we should learn that journey.
We do have in Tamil, but most probably we have to go back to Sanskrit, because because we do have again we are talking about interpretation. One more translation. Why? Because if you want to learn, you better to go back to the what language you return.
Yeah, so, I know that all the Vedantas were in Tamil as well, but there was a guru, I forgot the name, who did all the everything into Tamil as well. So you've got all the same knowledge, but the texts are called slightly different, but it's the same knowledge in Tamil available as well.
Yeah. But before at least 120 years ago, the scholars of both in Tamil side, both they have to learn Sanskrit as well. So before they
yes.
Even though they learn, they do everything Tamil, they have to, because the guys are very good in both languages.
Yeah. So what I meant was, I didn't mean to like impose Sanskrit or anything. All I'm saying is we need to go back to the language, the older language, to get at least make that effort from our side to understand, right? Get a bit closer to it.
I also sometimes I was thinking sometime a couple of years ago, because there was a couple of team. I think they started a small school in Bushi Academy, and they are teaching. I don't know, they're teaching Sanskrit here in near our Watford. So I was thinking to join, but then I didn't have time to join. But
I've mentioned this.
Yes, there are courses available actually. There are courses. Sorry, Nilesh, you go on. Yeah.
So in Luton, I mentioned this before a few weeks ago, that in Luton they teach Sanskrit at the Hindu temple. So the Hindu temple in Luton, they use the college facilities. They teach you Hindi, Gujarati, and Sanskrit. So
excellent.
That's what they're doing.
I've seen some online links. I know there's a university. There's only one university in Oxford which gives you a Sanskrit course with a certificate, everything as well. And then in Germany, there's 16 universities that conduct Sanskrit. Sanskrit is a big thing in Germany, Netherlands, and some other places. So people are adopting or trying to learn that for certain reasons, right? And it is a very growing field. So, but that's just my one point of view. Sorry,
I think
Sanskrit
is considered in West by many scholars in the West as a hidden treasure of our knowledge. And so basically there are a lot of knowledge still not translated into English, and this all can be learned only by learning the language. So that's why, because if you see, there is a translation done by experts, but then there are many things which are not yet translated, and there are just piles and piles and piles of literature still lying in the libraries.
Yeah,
one of my friends who is basically my classmate, and he's studying right now Sanskrit.
Sorry,
I asked him what is the motivation.
Sorry, Rikin Bhai, are you saying something?
Sorry, it's me saying sorry. I need to leave, guys. Sorry, I think
no problem. No problem.
Just before I go,
catch up with.
I'll send a video of YouTube video. It's about Sanskrit and where the Greek language and the Roman language and all its roots go back to Sanskrit. I'll see. It's a very fascinating modern day language where it actually came from. Anyway, I'll send you a video link. It's very interesting.
Okay, guys, I think we are almost like 7:15. If everybody is okay, we'll call it a day.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up again in 2 weeks' time. If we can just try and go through some of the materials Haribhai has put on the shared drive, and then we can have the next discussion in 2 weeks' time. Yeah.
Sure. Pradeep, I have sent the link today for the Advaita classes. I think this looks like completely Sanatana Dharma teachings in London. Yeah, just have a look at the group link.
Great. We'll have a look. If people are interested, I would be interested. If it is like I can take out time out of work to do it, I would certainly be interested. So thanks, Sachin.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys, everybody, have a good evening, and catch you guys later.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.